Deputy Maureen O'Sullivan, 2.5 minutes.
Gurmagad. Tá seanachil braguin a scoilge, níl tinton mar de hinton féin, agus ein tíim leis an seanachil sin. So ceapam gúil sé riachan a gacrad a dhéanamh dros go méid seansig daoine fanhaint in a deithe féin. So in my couple of minutes, I think everything has to be done, every avenue has to be explored to avoid repossessions. You know, when we look back at land, homes and evictions, there's so much part of our history in this country, and they're part of the bleakest and darkest moments in our history, and we don't want to return there. But we do see a return there with those who are in mortgage distress. Now, I know it didn't start with this government, but that you inherited it. And yes, there is a role for personal responsibility from people who did take these mortgages, but equally the governments and the banks have responsibilities because of the hype, the encouragement, the almost forcing of people into taking these very high mortgages with no deposits. And people bought houses at inflated prices, followed by a variety of circumstances, mainly job losses, which has brought people to the situation where they are now. And they're generally people of a particular age group who have this negative equity. The crisis was identified some years ago. So if we look at the measures that have been brought in and see the effect of those, and if they were effective, well then we wouldn't be seeing an increase in the number of those cases who are in arrears.
1 minute.
Thank you. But what we are now seeing is the number of family home mortgages in arrears of greater than 12 months has increased significantly. So there's a very real danger also of what's being proposed in the new code of worsening the situation. And we look about the moratorium and then this limitless contact from banks. And I'm told it's supposed to be proportionate contact, but proportionate to what? I think the lack of independent appeal is also very significant. Another distressing aspect, as presented by New Beginnings, is that the more responsible mortgage defaulters are going to be the hardest hit. And FLAC has been saying that this new code gives lenders more control than ever, and it could result in repossessions. I just had a meeting with the Bank of Ireland recently, and I want to acknowledge what they were telling me in terms of Dublin Central, which is positive. But it is about the owner-occupier houses. There's been one repossession in the past year, and 92% of their restructured mortgages are meeting their commitments, and I do think it's important to acknowledge that. Final point, these public interest directors, I think it's a totally ironic title, because whose interest have they been working in? And if they were really in the public interest, I think those on the pensions would have forgone their salaries and expenses, and that would have shown that they really were working in the public interest and not their own.
Thanks very much, Deputy.